Joined by Sara Turner, who is Deputy Incident Commander of Chronic Wasting Disease Operations with the Missouri Department of Conservation. Sara, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
We are glad to have you here and looking at some of the information that's being put out by the Department of Conservation, just about what folks can do to help curb this, and that involves setting up these drop-off sites where they're sampling. What do you get from the samples? Can you tell us more about just the reason behind this?
So chronic wasting disease is a neurological disease that occurs in members of the cervid family, or deer, mainly in Missouri. In other states, it could be moose and mule deer and other types of cervids. So it's always fatal, and what we are trying to do is additional surveillance to not only determine where the disease is and how serious it is, but also gives hunters the opportunity to get their deer tested so they can determine if they want to eat it or not, as the CDC does not recommend that humans eat the deer, although there is currently no evidence that it transfers or transmits over to humans.
All right. And so yeah, the key thing here is just making sure this is safe to eat. That's what folks are able to do with this program, right?
Correct. Yes. And a lot of folks say, well, what do I do with my deer while I'm waiting on the results? Because the results can take up to 4 weeks.
Sure.
So we encourage them to quarter the deer up and put it in their fridge or the freezer until they get the results back, and then they can continue to process it however they wish.
All right. And of course, for folks here in southeast Missouri, well, in Cape Girardeau County specifically, the MDC Southeast Regional Office is where people can go to set that all up, right? Anything that they need to know? How does that work? Calling ahead of time, setting up something with you all, or they just show up?
So we get a little bit of both. Here in Cape Girardeau County, yes, they can just bring it to the Southeast Regional Office. It is a good idea to call ahead of time because sometimes we don't have staff that are trained to take the samples, depending on what day it is, but most of the time we do. We ask them to bring the head with at least 6 inches of the neck. So we will cut the deer's neck right across its voice box, or what's similar to our Adam's apple on humans. So we will cut across there. So we ask them to bring the head with 6 inches of neck, all still attached. We have had people that just bring us a section of neck and the head. We want it all in one piece. And so we will age the deer by looking at its teeth. And then we will cut the neck open and remove the retropharyngeal lymph nodes and ask them where they shot their deer and collect some information, their telecheck ID after they harvested the deer, and what date and that sort of thing. And then we give them a barcode, and they can go on our website and check periodically to see if their results are on there. If they do have a positive CWD deer, we will contact them directly via phone.
All right. And of course, you all are partnering, right, with other non-Missouri Department of Conservation folks that are collecting these, right? I'm not going to, I think that folks can look at KFVS12.com to get a list of different places, right, and that sort of thing. But yeah, there are other options as far as folks that are doing the sampling, right?
Right, and it's not just in Cape Girardeau County. It is mandatory during opening weekend of firearms deer season, November 11th and 12th. If you're in Madison, Bullinger, St. Genevieve, Perry, Jefferson counties, St. Francis County. So we do have head drop freezers. Those head drop freezers will not be open during opening weekend of firearm season because you're required to go to one of those mandatory test sites. And it won't take you very long to get through that. We've got the process down to a pretty good science. But throughout the rest of the season, we have head drop freezers located in multiple counties, as well as participating taxidermists and meat processors that will sample your deer. If you're donating the deer to share the harvest in those counties, you will have to have the deer sampled before we can donate it.
All right. Anything else to mention before we wrap up today? Anything else that folks need to know?
For folks to be aware of, something that's new this year is a CWD portion of deer season. It's additional opportunity for people in those CWD management zones to harvest more deer, and that's November 22nd through the 26th. And again, these head drop freezers and the participating taxidermists and meat processors will be open to get your deer sampled voluntarily from September 15th to January 15th, even if it's not opening weekend. And again, it takes about 4 weeks to get your sample back and get your test results. But if it is positive, we will call you directly.
All right. Sara Turner with the Missouri Department of Conservation. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. To our audience as well, appreciate you all being here with us. Check us out anytime. KFES12.com/livestream will be there. And you can check all of our other video podcasts on demand on the website. Thanks again, everybody.